Are those your jokes that you wrote today?
Yep.
Okay.
Been cracking them out.
Okay. I am going to prove something right now. Read the jokes to me.
I'm on a seafood diet. I see food, and if it's a fish, I eat it.
Meta.
Yeah. So.
I hate meta. Some people keep trying to get me to do meta comedy, so there you go.
I heard a joke.
Yeah, there you go, Norm. You got it.
That was attacked by the night monkey.
All right, hold on a second. Go ahead, Norm.
No, I'm terrible at telling jokes, but a guy, he gets a genie or something that gives you wishes in a lamp, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so he's like, oh, no, that's not it. He goes to his whole head is a giant pumpkin. That's how the joke starts. Mm-hmm. It's like a giant pumpkin, and then his friend goes, what happened? He's like, I found this genie in the lamp, and he gave me 3 wishes. And he's like, what happened? He goes, well, the first wish, I wished for like $100 million, and I got it. And then for my second wish, I wished for like a beautiful lady, and I got her. And the guy's like, yeah, but what happened? He's like, the third wish, that's where I really blew it. And the guy goes, what happened? He goes, I wished for a giant pumpkin head.
You guys got it. Really, put a CD out together.
You know what I really hate? You know what I really hate? If you go anywhere with him, like for a couple of days, he does that on purpose. He'll tell jokes with no ending on purpose.
I don't think you need one. Sometimes you can tell a joke like that.
And then that happens.
You don't need to have a joke.
You want to read a joke?
Sure.
You read them so good, but do you like his meta jokes?
He's a deep guy, you know. He's a young guy that's still finding themselves, so he's meta.
How many Polish guys does it take to screw in a light bulb? The question cannot be answered because Polish people are so fucking stupid that no matter how many of them are available, none of them would ever be able to complete that simple task.
This is a meta joke. Have you aware of these meta jokes?
How many comedians does it take to screw in a light bulb?
How many?
2. One to do it, and the other guy to go, how long's he been up there?
I like that.
On stage.
Yeah, because they was going,
how long?
This is the post-punk comedy. Now, this might be too...
He's not one of those sabotaging guys that's afraid of success.
No, this is a new type of comedy that may be a little advanced for the likes of you and me. To tell you the truth.
Try to take
I think that's what it is.
He had to do what's called anti-comedy?
Anti-comedy or meta-comedy.
Yeah.
Anti meaning the opposite.
Before we begin, I have a quick public service announcement. Would anybody, please fuck Martha Stewart?
Oh, I got that one.
What?
I don't understand that.
What?
That's weird, right?
Too soon.
It's meta.
Meta.
Do you like the meta comedy?
Meta world peace comedy.
Yeah.
Only comedy I like.
Your mom is so fat she developed type 2 diabetes and congestive heart failure. Snap! I don't get that. That so fat she did something.
Well, it's kind of an anti-joke.
It's a literal, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know these new meta jokes?
Yeah, I don't know that.
Well, she's so fat, you expect a joke, but then she's just so fat.
I get it.
If thinking that women are not funny, emotionally irrational, and less intelligent than men makes me sexist, then yes, I am sexist. Another meta joke.
Is it?
Sort of.
Boy, was it hot outside today. I went out to buy a California Pizza Kitchen signature pepperoni frozen flatbread, and by the time I got home, it was perfectly cooked and entirely eaten. 100% true.
Oh, you ate it. See, I love the laughs. I love the laughs. It's just weird, right? Some of them are odd. I'm not going to lie to you.
This is a joke.
Well, some of them.
But this is a joke.
I think technically.
Like an observational joke?
I was thinking that the new comedians, like Jim Gaffigan, what is it called when you say a joke and then refer to it? Some sort of
I don't
meta.
know what it's called, but yeah, everybody's just.
What are they doing? Explain what they do.
Well, what they do is they're basically saying what Jim does is he's telling you what the audience's reaction
So give
to
an
that
example.
joke is. So it's like
The joke. It's not the joke part isn't important. You can talk about the Care Bears, but you just say the.
Okay, so he's like I like Samuel. Something the punchline. Samuel L. Jackson. Oh, I don't care for him. he's not a good actor. Something like that.
Sometimes beauty's distracting, too. Like Halle Berry, she is so beautiful. But whenever she's in a movie, I find it hard to follow the plot. Like when she was in Monsters Ball playing that poverty-stricken woman, the entire time I was watching the movie, I was like, well, why doesn't she just become a model?
But isn't that he said he was commenting on his own act, not on Samuel
Yeah,
L.
that's what he's. Oh, yeah, but he's talking about why does this? All right, so he'll be talking about like cheeseburgers. I love about mini muffins is you can eat fucking 12 of them. Oh, he just keeps talking about food. Why is he talking about food so much? Yes. He does that.
And now this has become a kind of a standard since.
Yeah, I mean, since he did it, it's like everybody.
Try and be a good dad. I sat the older three down and I explained to them that the new baby does not mean I love them any less, but I will have to let one of them go. So if anyone knows of a toddler rescue, maybe we could get Sarah McLachlan to do the commercial. I don't like that joke at all. Why would he put that joke in this special? 4 kids. Bedtime is a crisis. That's why I'm here right now.
I saw Gilbert do that 20 years ago, where he was his own father watching his act.
Yeah.
And he put on a pair of glasses.
What kind of a joke was that? He didn't answer it. I don't understand that he does the fingers fighting with each other, and that's a joke.
I've been doing that for years, way before they had a name for it.
I had no idea.
He would say a joke, and then he'd put on his glass, he'd be his father, and not care for the joke. Right?
That's brilliant.
What do you have to say now?
I mean, I'm not a good,
Anything.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, it's like...
Gilbert is not looking at your slow burn that you've been trying to perfect.
It's not, I mean...
Okay, folks, before we continue, I have an announcement from the management. Would the owner of a Glock 9 with the inscription, "Too Puffy with Love," please pick up your gun? It's at the hospitality suite.
Oh, I have an announcement to read. I almost forgot. I was told to make this announcement. Table 10, wherever you are, table 10. We're sorry your waitress hasn't been there in a while. Larry King just married her. So... What's that? Guy yells my name for no reason. I have another announcement to make. Is that what you're telling me? That I should make this announcement? You're right. You make a good point with your incoherent gibberish. Here it is. Here's my other announcement. The U.S. State Department, folks, has just issued a travel warning for all women moving past Dick Morris's table. So... I don't know. Well, that's about it for me.
Small talks in a big world, full of people with good vibes and bad habits. This love, it just...
So, this is my promise to the people of the Video Podcast Network world. I will not eat a single morsel of food until Margaret Thatcher is dead and buried.
She died 3 weeks ago. We'll be right back with Larry King.
My other friend was mentally retarded. Now, I know you're not supposed to say that anymore, but that's what we said then, you know, and I understand that term. You know, it means that you're arrested. Your mental capacity has been retarded or arrested. So, anyways, I'll say Down syndrome. I don't care. I didn't say it for a long time. On account of I thought people would think I was a doctor. And I'd have to hit their knee with a hammer or something. I don't know. But anyways, I love, my best friend had Down syndrome, you know? I love people with Down syndrome. I wish I had Down syndrome. And I'll tell you why. Because they're happy. You know what I mean? They're happy. What's wrong with that? Man, I wish I was happy, you know? I was happy when I was with my friend. I'll tell you that. I would love to have a friend right now. Because how often are you happy? You ever be happy? It happens once in a while, you know? With me, it's usually when I wake up. You know, I wake up, I go, goddamn. I'm glad I bought that Tempur-Pedic pillar. That was the best purchase I ever made. But then the light comes under the door and bathes over you, and then your life comes in and gets all over you like a cobweb. You're like, God damn, huh? That's not fun. But you ever go into the mirror and look at yourself? I'm not talking about physically, but just eye to eye. You know, and then you go, oh, good God, what's become of me? I'm gonna go back to bed and cover myself up. Oh, that's when I would like to have a mentally retarded friend next to me, a guy with Down syndrome, to go, I like bananas. I go, God damn, I never looked at it that way. I like bananas too. You go, they're yellow. I go, God damn, you're right, they are yellow. Ha! What say you and me go buy a yellow banana? See, people get mad at me, and yet, you know, they pity them. I envy people with Down syndrome, you know? And they pity them. Now, who's the bad person in that scenario? I tell you right now, man, if there was some sort of injection where I could be Down syndrome, I'd take it because I'd love to be happy all the time, you know? And some people go, oh, they're mentally retarded people aren't always happy. I go, well, I never seen, you know, like you ever see a cynical Down syndrome guy, you know? You ever see a guy go, fuck bananas, they're yellow, I don't care. Who cares? I never seen it. But happiness, the thing we strive the most, people pity these people that have it, you know? Like they'll look over a group of people with Down syndrome and go, oh, man, look. Breaks my heart when I see them. You know why? They're happy, right? It's on account of they don't understand life's horrors. Makes me sad. Makes me shake my head sadly like this here. And you know the saddest part of all? There's no cure. They'll probably die happy. You know, I mean, I have opinions. I mean, I have opinions that everybody holds, you know, like, I don't know. Yellow is the best color, you know, but I don't know if you call that an opinion, you know, it's just a, oh, hold on, it's my phone. There's a guy will come on TV, go, hey, listen, let me ask you a question. Do you like yellow? And I go, yeah, of course I like yellow. And he goes, yeah, well, so is this guy. And they show a guy, he's waving, pointing at someone that doesn't exist, wearing a yellow shirt, you know? And then I go, Ruth, get out here, goddamn. Here's a guy on the TV that's speaking for me finally, Ruth. You know, I'm always talking about how cool yellow is? Well, this mother finally, a person that's speaking not at me, but for me. I like bananas. I go, God damn, I never looked at it that way. I like bananas too. You go, they're yellow. I go, God damn, you're right, they are yellow. Ha! What say you and me go buy a yellow banana?
I was at a party with a friend and I noticed you first. And you returned my gaze, knew how to quench my thirst. You took me to that room like a dream come true. The dance you performed was just for me and you. Kisses on the neck, then you work your way down. Let yourself go for me all around town. Seductively stood.
No, I don't do him from his radio show. I just do him from the, because he has his article in USA Today.
His column.
His column.
Yeah.
And all it is he just, anything he thinks of, he writes it down.
Sure, his thoughts.
Yeah.
King's thoughts.
Yeah, and they're just like completely random. Like he'll go like, blue is a great color, but for my money, yellow is the best. It's like crazy.
That's all, Larry. It's supposed to make you think.
Yeah, it makes you think. He goes, I don't care what any...
Tell me some of the Asian things that, like, you know.
Like small penis?
No, like names, yeah.
Oh, well, yellow, yeah.
Yellow?
Yeah.
Who says that?
Who says yellow?
You're a coward.
Hey, yellow.
No, that's yeller.
You're yeller.
Yeah.
I've never heard of yellow.
No, never.
That's our skin color, but.
Yeah, yellow man.
That's just what
yellow
say.
man, that's what you say.
God,
you made that up.
Oh, no,
Hey, yellow man, get out of my bar. I've never heard that.
No.
Do you know all the racial things against Asians? Yeah, can you?
I prefer the Indian casinos. That's what I like, you know, because I don't want to give my money. If I'm going to lose money, and I'm going to lose money, I don't want to do it in Las Vegas to a bunch of corporate businessmen. I would rather go to an Indian casino and lose it to the Native Americans, you know, on account of my forefathers systematically murdered them years ago, which, looking back on it, way out of line, way out of line. Anyways, I look at it as a form of reparations, you know, and I tell you, I've done my part, goddammit. Probably done your part, too. Anyways, I love casino.
Melissa McCarthy is Norm MacDonald.
Thank you. Thank you, but I am sorry I cannot, in good conscience, accept this award on behalf of Melissa McCarthy. I instead have chosen to give my time to a friend who has something very important to say.
My name is Johnny Two Feathers. While you enjoy tonight's show, I want you to think about something. The spot where you're sitting, every square foot of ground in this country was stolen from my ancestors. And after you stole it, you murdered them. So you'll forgive us if we do not laugh along. There is nothing funny about the extermination of a people. The theater stinks of blood. That's all I have to say. Oh.
Johnny Two Feathers, everybody. Johnny Two Feathers. Give him a wave, Johnny. Oh, Johnny, you don't want to wave? All right. Well, Johnny Two Feathers, everybody.
Probably just like masturbating in a dark room.
Angry over the Atlanta Braves and Cleveland Indians' use of Indian caricatures as logos, Native Americans showed up at the World Series tonight. They chanted for hours to protest Indian stereotypes, though it didn't help their cause any when it started to rain. Native Americans in upstate New York are trying to block plans to build a Kmart on the site of a Mohican burial ground. In addition, they were upset to learn that sales at this particular Kmart will be announced, "Attention Kmart savages." In Michigan, State Historical Commission officials say they will not interfere with the building of a new major sports stadium, even if construction unearths historical artifacts. However, state Indian Affairs officials say that if relics from a Native American tribe are found, they would like to have the land set aside and designated as a sacred tribal burial ground / giant casino. In Wisconsin, students at Menominee High School are desperately fighting efforts by the politically correct to change their team nickname the Indians. Already, opponents of the name have rejected the students' first compromise, the Drunken Indians. They feel that's almost worse in a way, you know? In Bridgeport, Connecticut, the Staticoti Indian tribe is seeking recognition by the Bureau of Indian Affairs in order to open either a manufacturing company or a casino. I wonder which one they'll choose. Manufacturing company or the casino. In Norwich, Connecticut, a local museum has made a long overdue effort at racial reconciliation by returning 21 ancient tribal artifacts to the Mohegan Indians. But as for everything else in the country, we'll be keeping that. Yeah. It's good news, really. We don't have to give any of it back.
It's like the difference between the Cleveland Indians and the Washington Redskins. I can see where Redskin might upset somebody just a little. I don't think you're ever going to get it changed, but at least it is a bit denigrating. But Indians, isn't that? I never understand that.
Oh, you don't understand that?
No.
Well, here's the thing, man.
Or Braves.
I have no formal education, and as a matter of fact, I don't have any informal education. It's not like I'm hanging out with professors on the weekend, right?
Yes.
But this is the way I understand it. Old Chris Columbus, he sailed over here, and then he got here, and he thought it was India.
Jesus, what a dolt. And that's the source of us all.
Yeah, so he goes, hey, man, look at all those Indians.
All right. Oh, that's it.
And then one of his buddies goes, hey, man, we took a wrong turn at the middle of the Pacific Ocean. This is America. and then he goes, hey, you Indians better get the hell out of here. You're not even in the right country.
Well, once you're about to take a country from somebody, you cannot refer to them as Native Americans. It only makes your task harder. They will fight harder because you've already told them you assume that it is their property. But my feeling is at some point there were an ice people, a horde of almost Piltdown-men-like creatures who the Indians or whatever, the Native Americans came in and took this from. Isn't that the way of the world, Norm? That eventually everybody takes something.
What's a Piltdown, man? You talking about the old days?
I'm sorry to throw you off the scent of the conversation. I'm talking about in Paleolithic times. I assume that the Native Americans were not native here either, but came down and took this from somebody else. That's just the way of the world.
Yeah, everybody takes everything. Listen, Mother Nature is a brutal bitch. A red-clawed,
paint the picture.
Machine that eats and
shrieking harridan.
Yeah.
Little one, you've been away so long, and I need you now more than forever.
So, Jenny, what month was your issue?
Quoting Churchill.
May of 08. Who was on the cover? Do you remember?
It was a Russian girl. And my nickname's Genocide, so I think that was kind of funny.
What?
What? What do you mean?
Is Genocide giving her comedy fucking advice?
Why is that? It's funny because there was a genocide.
In Russia? Only about 70 years ago.
Against the Russian people.
Who still lives?
But me. That's not
You first.
Huh?
Check it back. No, it was
Oh,
it wasn't a complete genocide.
What do you mean?
No, it was.
Well, Stalin was a mass murderer.
Only Jewish people seem to get really offended by my nickname.
There are fives in a case.
Dave's getting more.
Right,
Well,
because they're the only ones that live.
Well, the only
through
true genocide was the. Well, I don't want to say
another
What about
one
the
this way,
American
Sam.
Indians? That was a true genocide.
Wow. What?
The American Indians was a true genocide.
No, that was for land.
No, that was justified.
That was for land. We were taking their property.
No,
It doesn't matter. What does it matter what the motive
No,
is?
the genocide.
Yeah, the motive
against
is
the
to
Indians
just
was
hatred of a race to exterminate them
It was
without a
just- it was
political or economic
justifiable
agenda.
What we did with the Indians.
Well, it's not
No,
justifiable.
well, who's saying it's justified?
I said it's well.
Just got to bury that.
I'm just wondering how it's
Just one counterpoint.
You've never
I'm trying to take another
You've never heard the legal term justifiable genocide? Hitler was out of his mind at the time. Clearly insane. NORM MACDONALD Live premiered over 2 years ago. One thing has remained consistent throughout. Jokes. So we're going to do some jokes with, this is a rather troublesome thing I've got to address. This was in Adam Eagle's dressing room. If you can read it, it says, ISIS hunting permit.
It's not mine. I don't know. It's not mine.
Whether or not it's yours, you were defending it earlier when we talked about it just now. I said, what does this mean even? ISIS hunting permit. Everyone would want to kill ISIS. And then you said, no, I wouldn't want to kill ISIS.
I don't, no, I think you're...
What did you say just now?
No, I'm saying that, first of all, it doesn't make sense.
But when I said ISIS hunting permit, I said, wait, does that mean ISIS hunting permit, does that mean that this is supposed to be taken as some sort of redneck thing?
Yeah, it seems like it would be on like
Why would this be a redneck thing?
Well, it just seems typical of something you'd see on the back of a pickup
truck. Right, but I said after that, I said, but no, everyone would want to kill ISIS. And then what did you say?
I think that it's just, the thing is that somebody would use that as permission to kill Muslims, just because they couldn't differentiate between who is ISIS and
why would they not say Muslim hunting permit?
Well, because they sort of look at all Muslims as being ISIS, you know? That's the problem when people want to deport all the Muslims from America. They think that they're all part of ISIS, when in truth they're not. They're not at all.
Okay.
Yes.
You know, it's like saying somebody like Timothy McVeigh is all Christians.
Yeah, I've read some figures about 80% of a lot of these nations don't agree with it. They're against ISIS.
Well spoken.
The point, I don't know where you found it. It's not from my dressing room. I don't have a dressing room.
Well, who cares about a dressing room? We're talking about it. Did you hear what?
Yes, I agree with everything Margaret just said. 1000%.
Yes, I mean, I don't disagree. I think ISIS is terrible.
Absolutely.
And everybody here listed, Boko Haram in particular, I have a lot of rage towards. However, somebody would take this in the wrong way. I mean, somebody would look at this and think of it as permission to kill all Muslims, which is sort of a sentiment that's going around in conservative circles, which is not the right way to look at Muslim America.
Yeah, it's like after 9/11, people were shooting Sikhs, people from India who had nothing to do.
Yeah, and it's just this unawareness of
it's ignorance.
People who are different from them, not even different in
Well,
America.
I can't say my friend's name, but he said his biggest fear is that ISIS or some terrorist group like that would get a hold of a dirty bomb and explode it over a major city within the United States and kill tens of millions of people. Because then the blowback against innocent Muslims would be absolutely terrible.
Yeah, that's horrific.
That's true.
All right, let's do some jokes.
That went well.
These broken pieces I hold in my hands don't have a chance to mend at all. Before they get thrown into chaos again, I try to pretend I'm whole enough to stand in this world so unsteady.
Josh.
Now, this is a great joke. This is, I think, just a classic joke. This may have been written by, who's this new boy that I've taken quite an unhealthy interest with?
Black.
Huh?
Scott Black.
Scott Black. Black.
I was in Montreal at that restaurant. Cochon de whatever, petit, something de cochon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
So, like
A pig.
Yeah, the pied de cochon.
Yeah.
Right. They make their own head cheese. And I'm like, really? Why would anyone? I thought that was garbage meat. But no, they're making it right out of the head. You can order a whole pig's head there.
You can?
eat for 2.
Ugh. I was in Cambodia once. I ate a brain. It was brain.
Really?
Yeah, mine was stupid. Now,
Zuckerberg says he's only eating his own meat that he kills now. Have you read that?
With his bare hands.
Yeah.
Zuckerberg?
The kid's a monster.
He tries to do one thing to alter his modern lifestyle every year. And this year he says he's only going to eat meat that he's actually killed. And I was wondering, what are you adhering to lately?
I'm a vegetarian, a strict vegetarian.
No, have you done that?
Well, I eat chicken.
Well, it's not all that.
That's not vegetarian.
I'm not. I said I'm not strict. I eat chicken and
steaks
beef. Pork. I ate raw game. Did you ever eat? It's not dead yet.
No, you're
and
over
you
there.
eat it, and as you're eating it, their death throes are making you hungrier.
There's nothing.
That's better than a soybean.
Yeah, you're right.
Which sounds better, that or soybean?
Listen, some of the best meals I've had is that Mongolian thing over at Dahmer's on Wednesday night. Literally, we ate a Mongolian.
Did I tell you I ate a live fish in real life?
No.
Yeah, I was at a sushi restaurant, and the guy's like Japanese. Mm-hmm. And so I go, I eat just sashimi, like raw fish. Mm-hmm. I don't eat with rice or anything like that.
Yeah.
Am I trying to impress him? So he goes, you eat live fish? I go, yeah. Even though I don't. And he goes,
never think he's going to call you on
yeah, and I go, plus it sounds kind of cool. Mm-hmm. And he goes, I get you live fish. I go, thanks, man. Like I was an inside guy, and then he brought out a fish and hit it and knocked it out and put it on a stick. It was live. And that clears out a sushi bar. A lot of people, the girl I was in was barfing in a bathroom. And the only people interested was the guy, the Japanese sociopath guy. And all the Mexican help, they were all like looking like I'd eat it. And so I had to cut it, and then they leave the fish that's on the skeleton that looks like the one Sylvester found on a garbage thing. Mm-hmm. To move. It's moving and like a dead bobblehead, and you had to put water in its mouth to keep it alive so you could watch it die as you ate. It was a nice meal.
What we want to know is, are you a brother or a sister?
Well, I'm an only child.
There's a word for what you are.
Charismatic?
So what the hell are you? A man or a woman?
Farley, that night was the first night I ever met Farley. It was your first night on the show.
We all sat around and watched you when we were cheering you on, buddy.
And Farley, he took me. He never met me before in his life, you know. He took me back. He said, "I got to tell you a secret about SNL."
Oh yeah.
Took me all the way to the back and
like the wood. This is the wood.
No, within the
okay, the hotel, right?
In the hotel, and he secreted me into this room, and he locked it, and he made sure it wasn't bugged and everything. He said, "I got a secret to tell you." I was very, honored to have this. And then his secret was, he said, "This doesn't go past these walls. Pat is a woman."
Tell me your history with Norm.
Well,
Did you guys date?
No, not date.
Oh.
He
good for you, by the way.
He was mean to me in a terrible way. When his first show on SNL, there was a sketch, and they wanted to change something, and I didn't want to change it to that line. And he came up to me in the makeup chair and said, "Your problem is you're not funny. You're just not funny." He said that to me. I'd been on the show for 4 years. He was just started it. I think it was his first week. Okay, there's a better part of the story. So then, of course, I didn't like him.
Norman can be rough.
I really didn't like him. And then I was about to leave the show anyway. I was like, just one more reason to get the hell out of here. Mm-hmm. And but I was very, very good friends with Lori Jo Hoekstra, who he was always, very much.
They're friends for years. I don't even know if is that the woman in his life?
Yeah,
or is
I don't actually even
she's
know.
His handler,
Lojo,
as he refers to her.
Lojo.
And she's been with him for
for a million years.
Since back then at SNL in like 93.
Yes,
yeah.
and I always loved Lori Jo, and it was a very tumultuous friendship then. And I just really didn't like him. And then I left the show and I just really didn't watch anything for years. But some people would talk about how funny he was, and I would see him occasionally, and I had a bias, obviously, because I had this traumatic thing. Then at the 40th reunion, Norm came up to me and he said, I just have to apologize to you. That was a terrible thing to do. I can't believe I did that terrible thing. And I said, oh, and then that meant a lot to me. And then after that, I could watch Norm stuff, and I realized he's hysterical. Okay, it was like I was able to emotionally let it in how great and funny he is.
That's an interesting comment on there is some gateway to your sense of humor that goes through personal feelings.
That's embarrassing because it's very narcissistic.
But that's everybody, though.
I mean,
Christ, I can't tell you how people just hate my humor now, and I think, that's a pretty good joke. And I try to figure it out, like sometimes where somebody will over-like a joke and somebody will under-like a joke. And I'll see the finer gradation that was a decent joke. It probably should have hit right in here. And I could see, I said, oh, I see. It really isn't an involuntary gesture. There is some price of admission to get through to really convulse somebody.
Yeah,
and it's about their biases towards you.
Yes, it's true.
Well, I'm glad Norm came around because that seemed like a particularly... He was probably scared shitless, too. Everybody's a little scared over there.
Yeah,
and,
exactly. No, I mean, I'm sure I've had moments there as well.
Take me on a journey. Take me far away from this life. I'd leave it in a hurry. Let's run away before morning light. You got me.
I don't know if you know this, but I used to tour with NORM MACDONALD for 7 years. Yeah. And so like he was like my best friend. So like whenever I have like auditions and stuff, he used to say, oh, just don't bother acting because there's a good chance you won't get it anyway. And those are the ones that I usually got it. You know what I mean?
Hold on. I have to hide my self view because if I'm on camera, I look at myself, which is weird. Okay.
Oh, by the way, I don't promote the video.
Oh, okay. No, that's okay. Do whatever you want with it. But I'm just saying, for me, I become distracted by myself.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, Norm.
I saw your tweet, and I wanted you to know that he loved you very much because when
that meant a lot to me. That's what made me do it. I'm not doing interviews really, but it happened right away when he got on the show, and we only overlapped by a few months. Yeah. And so he was young and new, and I was jaded and had one foot out the door. So we both kind of we're in a weird place, to be maybe not at our best, but he had come up and yelled at me about a sketch that he wrote, and it was in, but then it got traded out for a sketch of mine or something, which happens all the time, and he would certainly learn that, but at that moment he didn't. And I was in the makeup chair, and he came and started yelling at me about it, which it wasn't even my responsibility I was not in charge of that.
Right.
And then and I think I was saying that, and I was kind of shocked because he, I felt like I was a senior statesman, like I'd been there 4 years, and he just had arrived on the scene, and he was yelling at me about something I had nothing to do with. And then he started saying how unfunny I was not funny, blah, blah, blah. And that was really rude. And it was in the makeup trailer with a bunch of people anyway, which I don't really care, but it didn't get us off on the best foot.
Yeah.
But then, as I said, and then, when I left SNL, I didn't watch the show at all. Like I was so sick of anything sketch related. I really didn't watch it for years. So I missed his genius, like I didn't know. I would hear about him. I mean, I wasn't in an igloo, but I didn't, because we'd had that weird thing. But Lori Joe, I was in contact with,
Oh, Lo Joe. I love Lo Joe.
Yeah. And And I suspect it was her that made him, come around maybe, or rethink it. Or maybe he didn't, maybe he rethought it 1 week later. I have no idea. I don't know. But I just know that it wasn't for years later that I see the sketches of him and realize what a real comic genius he was. I mean, really. I mean, just so good. And like going to the reunions, I realized that he was so good. Like, I'm so out of it. I'm like, somebody's old aunt who's like, what's up with the kids now? And so then I was like, oh, he really is good. And I actually didn't hold it against him. I feel even bad saying it. But then the only reason I put that tweet out there is because I thought it was so big of him to come to me and say, I think I said something to you that was mean, when we first met, and I'm so sorry, and I think you're great. And it was just not that many people do that, that showed such wonderful character, and it just made me love him, and so, but then some people got mad at me for tweeting that. I really meant it positively.
I took it positively.
Like everyone has a bad moment, and what I was trying to show is that he reflected on it and made an apology that was genuine and sincere and accepted on both sides. So it's like, that's not a common thing to happen. And he did that. So I was trying to be positive about it, but some people were like, not the time and place and stuff like that. And anyway, ugh.
I remember when I told him I was going to interview you like 3 years ago, and he's like, oh my God, that's going to be awesome. I can't wait to listen to it. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, I only did one movie and she played my mom.
Oh, what?
Yeah. He said that you played his mom on Dirty Work or something.
Oh, I've done so many of those parts.
And I watched it and I didn't see you. So I don't know if he was screwing with me, but
I'm pretty sure I'm not in that. Although I've been cast as the mom so often, and it's like, but yeah, he's probably mixing me up with someone, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I just thought it was funny because he said nothing but good things about you, so I just wanted.
Okay, that's good. Maybe he actually totally thought of me as someone else, but yeah. But you must miss him so much.
Yeah, it was
Did you know, was he getting sicker and sicker around you, or?
Well, I found out he had cancer in December, and, there was only a handful of people who knew, and, he kind of made me say, like, I can't tell anyone or whatever, but he also told me that it was a different type of cancer from what came out that he had, so I don't know. Like, I feel kind of like privileged that I knew, but also kind of hurt because it wasn't what he told me. You know what I mean?
But maybe he told you the truth.
No, yeah, he told me he had colon cancer, and when he died,
he just didn't want. Yeah. What did I don't even know. I just knew he had cancer. What did they say it was?
It was leukemia cancer. So. I don't know.
If you have like something like colon cancer, I think it can get into the lymph system and become a lymphoma. Like like a lot of times in late stage cancers, there's overlapping cancers, but usually you name your cancer after the first one you have. So it would be colon, but he probably just thought people would make jokes about it.
Yeah. I just know nothing about cancer, and it sucks because I was born in July. It's a birthday joke.
Okay, that was a good one. It took me a moment.
Oh, thank you so much. It's so good to hear you laugh.
Here we see the president and the first bitch. Hey, slow down, you bitch. Let me catch up. Here we see President Clinton looking for something, anything, to hug besides his wife. This week in South Africa, Winnie Mandela was removed from the new government by her husband, President Nelson Mandela. A curious Bill Clinton later called Mr. Mandela to find out how exactly you go about doing something like that. Gosh, Hillary looks pretty in this photo here, doesn't she? Never realized she was such a looker till I see her here in this picture. A frightening moment this week for First Lady Hillary Clinton. Her plane, en route to the former Soviet Union, was forced to make an emergency landing when it was discovered that a frayed wire in the engine was causing serious malfunctions. The president was said to be furious and demanded an immediate investigation of what went wrong with Operation Frayed Wire. First Lady Hillary Clinton has been out of the country this week visiting the remote region of Siberia. Said the president, quote, "When the cat's away, the mice..." Oh, who am I kidding? The mouse screws plenty of women even when the cat's right here. At the White House this week, President Clinton officially came out against same-sex marriages. What's more, the president said he is not too crazy about opposite-sex marriages either. Astronaut Shannon Lucid, back on Earth after a record 6 months in space, was welcomed home Tuesday with a phone call from President Clinton. Said the president, quote, "This is just the beginning. One day we'll be able to send an American into space indefinitely, and I hope it's a woman." Speaking in Australia this week about the problems of being America's First Lady, Hillary Clinton joked, quote, "Perhaps I'll walk around with a bag over my head when I come out into public and have no opinions and never express them publicly or privately." To which the president replied, "Yes, yes, oh God, yes!" As new questions arise about Hillary Clinton's role in Whitewater, the president appears to be distancing himself from the First Lady. Earlier today in his weekly radio address, the president insisted, "Hey, I sleep with hundreds of girls. I can't vouch for all of them, you know?" Though more indictments are likely in the Whitewater investigation, President Clinton is still refusing to say whether he will pardon former Whitewater associates Jim and Susan McDougal. But when asked if he would pardon First Lady Hillary Clinton, the president was crystal clear, quote, "She does the crime, she does the time." Court documents made public this week, independent counsel Kenneth Starr told a federal judge that Hillary Clinton is now a, quote, "central figure in the Whitewater criminal probe." Reacting to the news, President Clinton called the investigation a partisan witch hunt, vowing, quote, "If the First Lady is somehow convicted and has to go to jail, I will do everything in my power to wait 2 weeks to start dating." With growing indications that First Lady Hillary Clinton may be indicted for her role in Whitewater, President Clinton is reportedly starting to prepare for that possibility. Plans so far include renting a hall, hiring a band, and making a giant bathtub with margaritas. In a unanimous verdict this week, a Santa Monica jury found O.J. Simpson liable for the wrongful deaths of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman, awarding the plaintiffs damages of $8.5 million. Reacting to the verdict, Simpson insisted that he has nowhere near that amount of money and that his only remaining asset is 30 pairs of Brunei Mali shoes. The announcement of the verdict came toward the end of President Clinton's annual State of the Union address, and to many observers, completely overshadowed the event. Even the president was distracted during his speech, waiting to hear exactly how much it costs to kill your wife. Well, more O.J. Simpson news. On Friday, the Juice officially endorsed Bill Clinton for president, adding, quote, "I'd like to help him any way I can." To which the president replied, "Well, there is one thing." An American President, Rob Reiner's new film starring Michael Douglas and Annette Bening opened in theaters last week. Here with his review is Update movie critic and 42nd President of these United States, Bill Clinton.
Thank you, Norm. Thank you all.
And what did you like best about the movie?
The dead wife.
Independence Day, the science fiction fantasy starring Jeff Goldblum, Bill Pullman, and Will Smith, was not only last summer's biggest box office hit, it was a national phenomenon. Here with his review is Update movie critic and 42nd President of these United States, Bill Clinton.
Thank you. Norm, I think it deals with some of the most fundamental questions of existence. Is there intelligent life out there? Is it friendly? If not, what if it came to Earth and killed the president's wife?
I guess I never thought about that, Mr. President.
I have. Every day of my life.
Last week, the president vetoed a Republican bill to balance the budget, and he used a pen that belonged to former President Lyndon Johnson. Clinton has also been working his way through John F. Kennedy's vast supply of condoms. Well, more bad news for Bill Clinton. This week, an appellate court ruled that Paula Jones can proceed with her sexual harassment suit against the president. Jones' suit is based on a 1991 hotel room encounter during which she alleges that then-Governor Clinton dropped his pants and exposed himself. She is seeking $700,000 in damages, $100,000 for trauma after seeing the governor's penis, and $300,000 for each thigh. Well, Chelsea Clinton turned 16 a few weeks ago, and apparently her father has been teaching her to drive. Early reports say that under the president's tutelage, the first daughter has become exceptionally good at cruising for chicks. A Connecticut hotel where Bill Clinton spent the night has donated to a charity auction a bagel the president ordered from room service but never ate. Though potential bidders should be advised, while the president never actually ate the bagel, he did have, quote, relations with it. Sounds delicious. This week, President Clinton made history when he nominated Madeleine Albright to be first female Secretary of State. Responding to critics who say that she is not the best choice, the president insisted, quote, she looks a lot better after a couple of drinks. This week, in arguments before the Supreme Court, lawyers for President Clinton asked that the sexual harassment suit brought by Paula Jones be delayed until he leaves office. According to Clinton's attorney, quote, if the president were hauled into court every time some nut accused him of sexual harassment, he'd have no time to scare up tail. You like scaring up the tail. Okay. More bad news for the president. This week, convicted Whitewater swindler James McDougal claimed that his ex-wife, Susan McDougal, had an affair with Clinton while he was governor of Arkansas. The president denied the charges, adding, quote, if you really knew me, you'd know that I was always faithful to Jennifer Flowers. In a startling reversal, Kenneth Starr announced yesterday that he would not resign as Whitewater special prosecutor and that now he intends to stay on until the investigation is completed. This new development apparently did not trouble a confident President Clinton, who still plans to resume making conjugal visits to Susan McDougal. Yesterday, President Clinton underwent a 2-hour operation to repair damage to his knee, suffered in a fall while visiting in Florida at the home of professional golfer Greg Norman. Many were surprised to hear that the two were on friendly terms, since Greg Norman had once threatened that if he ever caught Clinton with his wife again, he'd smash his kneecap with a 5-iron. The White House says that surviving relatives of those who died in a 40-year-old federal study which allowed men infected with syphilis to go untreated will get an official apology from President Clinton. According to the president, quote, "If not for the sacrifices of these brave men, I would not be alive today." Court-martial proceedings are set to begin Tuesday against Air Force Lieutenant Kelly Flynn, the nation's first female B-52 pilot. Flynn is accused of conducting an adulterous affair with a married man, as well as having a brief fling with a second airman, and then lying about it. An Air Force prosecutor called her, quote, "a sexual predator," while her commanding officer called her a, quote, "lying sex addict." Meanwhile, President Clinton called her. Well, the White House is an empty nest this week following Chelsea Clinton's departure to begin studies at Stanford University. A wistful President Clinton says that while it's difficult to see his daughter grow up, at least now he'll feel less guilty about hitting on her friends. According to Reno, there is no evidence he misused his office to raise money, improperly allowed contributors to stay overnight at the White House, or sought contributions in exchange for political favors. You know, it's hard for me to believe this, but for Janet Reno to send this letter, I guess it must be true. The president's sleeping with her, too. It's beyond comprehension, but... On Tom Snyder this week, actor Tony Danza said he thought the recent open display of affection by lesbian couple Ellen DeGeneres and Anne Hesh in front of President Clinton was extremely disrespectful. On hearing the comment, President Clinton responded, "Someone should tell Tony Danza to shut the hell up." Meanwhile, President Clinton was in Akron, Ohio this week, presiding at a town meeting about race relations in America. The president chose Akron as the site of the meeting, partly because it is the home of the Coming Together Project, an organized effort to end racism, and partly because it is the home of Suzanne Rosenberg, an old classmate from Oxford the president still has sex with. Well, President Clinton received an early Christmas present this week, an adorable Labrador puppy. And presidential historians say that it will be good for his image. According to these scholars, in comparison to a male dog, the president's sex life will seem relatively normal. A 5-year-old child writes, "Dear Mr. President, when the Republicans are finished wasting taxpayer money on their Whitewater witch hunt, perhaps they can join you in your efforts to protect Medicare and the environment and to expand the Earned Income Tax Credit. P.S. Paula Jones was asking for it." Here's one from Elizabeth A. of Long Island, who wrote, "Dear President Clinton, Newt Gingrich is a bad, bad man." Also, Paula Jones was asking for it. The Supreme Court will begin hearing arguments over whether Paula Jones' sexual harassment suit against President Clinton may proceed. Jones, who claims that while governor of Arkansas, Clinton exposed himself to her in a hotel room, says that she can accurately and precisely describe the president's genitalia. But White House spokesman scoffed, quote, "Any woman who's worked in the state of Arkansas for the last 20 years could do that." Does President Clinton have a bent penis? Well, according to a doctor who examined him last week, the president's genitals are, quote, completely 100% normal. It should be noted, however, that the doctor who examined him also has a bent penis. That may color his findings a little. Well, as his last stop on the trip, the president met in Buenos Aires Thursday with Argentinian President Carlos Menem. During the meeting, Clinton asked Menem to continue with economic reform and protect democratic freedoms. Menem, in turn, asked Clinton to show him his bent penis. Tomorrow, Chinese President Jiang Zemin begins a week-long visit that could define U.S. relations with China for years to come. President Clinton plans to ask Jiang for several things, including human rights reform, trade expansion, and a Chinese herb said to have the power to straighten a bent penis. This week, an angry President Clinton demanded that Congress stop dragging its feet on something he has long championed, a medical bill of rights for U.S. citizens. In all, there are 10 items in the President's Bill of Rights, running from number 1, a rich, satisfying sex life is the foundation of good health, to number 10, a straight penis is not a privilege, it is a right. Mysterious Indonesian accused of illegally raising millions for the Democratic Party. Earlier this week, Secret Service logs showed that Mr. Wong had visited the Clinton White House more than 60 times. But on Friday, administration spokesman revealed that there are actually 2 John Wongs. Furthermore, they stressed that the John Wong who visited the White House is a different man. He isn't the fundraiser. He's the guy who killed Vince Foster. On Capitol Hill this week, 17 Republican congressmen formally asked the House Judiciary Committee whether there is sufficient evidence to begin impeachment proceedings against President Clinton. In response, the president said, quote, "Hey, you know who would have the answer to that question? Vince Foster." This weekend, veteran news anchorman David Brinkley apologized to Bill Clinton for an election night commentary in which he called the president, quote, boring and uncreative. Admitted Brinkley, there was certainly nothing uncreative about the way you moved Vince Foster's body. The president's a murderer. You didn't know that?
Oh, I know what you're excited about.
Yeah. 1 week.
One week until what?
Till my 1 year of sobriety.
Yeah, he is an alcoholic.
Yeah.
There's no shame in it.
No.
But but the good thing about it is you've been sober for almost a year.
Yeah.
And in 1 week you get a chip.
Yep.
It's an amazing fact that you've kept sober, because I understand people go back to the booze when they have trouble with that.
It's tough. Thank you for noticing. It is tough.
We work hard, but
it's exhausting work, but we try and have fun. We keep it light. Like last night, Brent and I pulled that prank on you.
Oh yeah, it wasn't funny.
Yeah, well, it was a little funny.
Not funny at all.
I beg to differ. We have video.
Beg to differ is a thing that mostly gay men say.
I think it was a hilarious prank.
It was a stupid prank.
It was funny.
The classic. He's going to put the shaving cream on his hand now. And now I'm going to go in with the feather.
Yeah, you swallow that, you fucker. You drink that down. You don't fucking spit that out. Yeah, you like it, you fucker. Drink it. Fucking swallow that fucking.
Week away, no?
Huh?
I was a week away.
What about you and your stupid fucking shaving freak, fucker? You think I like the taste of Anyway, there's more. We got more video of you. What is this? This is you.
4! I gotta call my sponsor.
We got a sponsor?
No. My sponsor, Argus Hamilton.
Oh, that's guy. Your sponsor.
Yeah, my sponsor. Fuck that. Is there any more of that vodka left?
No, you don't want vodka. Come on, man. One day at a time.
Oh, fuck that shit.
One
it's too late
day.
for that.
I don't know. Do you think it's cocaine?
Yep.
Well, you're partly right. It's cocaine, and it's also a lot of baby laxative. So you might watch it. It burns like hell.
Just give me a couple.
So he'd invite me over to SNL once in a while to play poker on off nights, on Monday nights or something. And to watch him play poker while watching Monday Night Football and a baseball game, like he was a gambler.
Right.
And I guess somehow one time I found myself on a tape night, on a live SNL. I'm in the hallway with a bunch of pages, writers, basically plus ones. Rosie O'Donnell was the host of the show that week, guest host, and height of her fame with Penny Marshall. They were like they were like this famous team, and they'd done a big movie together. And Penny by now is like a big movie director. And I'm in that hallway, where the pages are, where the desk is, and everybody kind of, congregates in that area. It's crowded. It's 10 minutes to showtime. Penny Marshall, at the height of her movie director swag, is walking through the hallway with her head down, sunglasses on, baseball hat, doesn't want to be bothered. Treating all these basically writers and NBC employees and me and Norm as big-timing us, pretending we're just looky-loos out on the street. And Norm starts going, starts pointing at her and screaming, "Laverne! Laverne! Laverne!" A month later, I think he was fired for telling OJ jokes. But it really shows that he just wanted to tell the best. Laverne! 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 And she didn't look up. She never knew it was Norm. She was just gone.
Oh my gosh.
And of course, the whole hallway's falling down. Like,
I wonder if he's doing it now. Up there. Up there. She's up there too. Wow, that was a great story.
You told me that we should go our separate ways, but now you're back. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for me. Survival, positive separate torturation. Give us any chance, we'll take it.
I've watched so many hours of his stuff, and I've met him, and he was like this comedic bar. Like, hey, we got Norm. There's so much shit comedy. Then you see Norm, and you're like, this is next level. This is savant type shit. And then to lose him is like, Norm had 20 more years at least of just content and thoughts and his point of view, and we'll never get that, and that sucks. He's just one of those guys who describes the most basic shit that we all know, but it's funny because he points it out. Like his Letterman set, the last Letterman, when he goes, Germany decided to attack the world, and you're like, that's so true. And then he goes, who do you think you are, Mars? I mean, it's just so funny, those little things where he's just telling you facts, and it's funny. I met him once at the Comedy Cellar, and we chatted for 5 minutes, and then he went on and did the Letterman set that he did. He was running the Letterman set, and sweet guy, nice guy. I didn't know him that well, but I mean, he's just brilliant. And I also love a brilliant guy who does stupid stuff. Mm-hmm. That's a fun little combo there. Like silly guys who are actually brilliant also. He was the king. He was the best. I mean, if you could play the chairman of the board thing is probably his crown jewel in his panel.
There's this movie coming out.
Yes.
Title undetermined at this point.
Chairman of the board.
Oh, all right. Do something with that, you freak.
I bet the board is spelled B-O-R-E-D.
Because he had so many great panel with the moth joke, all that shit. But
a moth goes into a podiatrist's office.
A moth goes into a podiatrist's office. Right?
You are correct.
But the one with the SNL, because a lot of comics are like, I don't give a fuck. I say what I want. This is the ultimate not giving a fuck. He goes on, he gets fired from SNL. He gets rehired to host years later. He's like, really? Okay. He's always hated them because they fired him. So he comes back and tanks the whole show in the monologue and then just does the show.
Then it occurred to me, I haven't gotten funnier. The show has gotten really bad. So yeah, I'm funny compared to, well, you'll see later. But okay, so let's recap. The bad news is I'm still not funny. The good news is the show blows.
He's my hero.
I love him to death.
Fun, maybe one of the funniest guys on the planet. Dave Attell, Norm, in that. There's something about those two.
National treasures.
I agree, and the fact that he's not like the biggest comic of all time is weird.
Well, he is to us.
I guess so.
The comics, I mean, he's not the biggest, but the comics, he's on. The Mount Rushmore keeps getting bigger.
I know.
Four heads is not a good enough amount.
You got to stop using that thing.
Yeah, it's a bad thing to say the Mount Rushmore, but in the Hall of Fame.
One of the funniest guys on the planet, one of my heroes, huge influence on me. I've seen everything. I watch his YouTube probably every other day. I just put it on.
When I first met you and I saw you, I was like, oh, he's doing like a Jerry Norm thing.
Yeah, completely.
Seinfeld and Norm.
He had another special in him. He's great on podcasts. I just wish he made more. And I mean, look, he's got a lot of stuff out there, so I'm getting greedy. But I think he's one of the funniest people. I mean, no one sounds like him. Amazing jokes, great takes, brilliant comic. His gambling stories on Howard Stern are incredible. I read his book. I've seen everything he's done. This is
Dirty Work is a great comedy.
I love Dirty Work. I met him once at the Cellar, and I got a photo with him, and now I'm so glad I did. He did Last Comic Standing. He was the only honest judge. He would tell comics they were hacks. It was awesome. The comics hated him. Joe List did it, and he goes, Joe, you're a very good writer. And Anthony Jeselnik goes, hey, Joe, that Norm just called you ugly, which is such a great line. He would come in, and he would bomb a lot. He would have jokes that the audience would be like, oh, he had this one great joke. He's like, something, women are bad drivers. And they went, oh, and he went, well, I want you to know a woman wrote that joke. And they went, oh, and he went, I'm kidding, we don't hire women. You're like, yeah, that's a comic. Come on.
He just kept teasing him.
That's a fucking combo. He went this way, that way, then that way. I mean, he's the best.
Who are safer drivers, men or women? Well, according to a new survey, 55% of adults feel that women are most responsible for minor fender benders, while 78% blame men for most fatal crashes. Please note that the percentages in these pie graphs do not add up to 100% because the math was done by a woman. For those of you hissing at that joke, it should be noted that that joke was written by a woman. So now you don't know what the hell to do, do you? No, I'm just kidding. We don't hire women.
He's like on another level where he's invented certain things I never knew. Like he's taken comedy to this higher point, which I didn't know existed. I wish I could come up with an example.
He's another guy too that still does real comedy. Like when he goes on stage, he's fucking ballsy.
Yeah,
he swings.
Right.
You know, like,
right.
And he gets confused if everybody's mad. Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Just a joke here, folks.
He keeps it real.
I've got the board. It's spelled B-O-R-E-D.
Falls out of the chair. I mean, come on. That is
Epic
unbelievable.
moment. I wish they let the laughs go a little longer.
Yeah.
They shortened it, but yeah. Incredible.
You know, as a comic, we've all been in that moment where they're like, what do you got now? I mean, you handle hecklers all the time. You're swatting flies all day long. When you think of that line.
When Conan challenges you and you deliver, it's pretty damn cool. And
then to have that line, and he nailed it. I mean, to put that much pressure on you on TV and nail it, I mean, it just proves that he's on another level. B-O-R-E-D. Come on, to pull that out of your ass, that is something. And then the delivery, he's so excited. He's like a 10-year-old. I bet it's called B-O-R-E-D. It's like, oh, it's so funny. God, that's him already. Ah.
Oh, damn. Brutal.
Thank God we have all the footage at least, but Jesus, we'll never get anything new.
I mean,
Come to think of it, I got addicted to you. Oh, no, no, no. And come to think of it, I need somebody like you. Oh, no, no, no. I need someone like you.
You don't have to pull this up because it's long, but there was a radio show, like a morning show, like you have to do on the road for press, and he's doing one, and he's like, well, you know, black people, they're poor. And the lady is like, oh my God, how can you say that, Norm? That is so racist. He's like, I'm reading the newspaper. I'm watching the news. I'm looking at the stats. They're poor. And she's like, oh my God. And all these black women call in. They go, Norm's right. We're fucking poor. It sucks. And he's like, you see? It was such a great moment.
925 says, okay, Norm, come to my 5th grade class. I dare you.
Well, where does she? Is it? Are there black people there?
Oh my God!
Where's
what does
the
that
925?
have to do with it?
Well,
why is it harder if there's black people there?
Because black people are generally poor, and poor people are generally dangerous.
Oh my God!
Wow,
I can't
Norm.
believe you just went there.
What? Black people are rich?
Black people span all the strata.
No.
And you're saying
you
that
gotta
white
check
people
your
are
statistics.
poor. And, oh
no,
my
black
God.
people are poorer than white people. You didn't know that? Are you telling
Norm.
me that you think black?
What I'm saying is that I try not to pigeonhole people into black people
truth.
are poor, not into the truth. Listen, there's a huge ignored middle class black population out there. How dare you say black people are poor and therefore dangerous?
Because I want them to be not poor. That's why.
And really, how are you gonna? What's your plan?
My plan is to first of all admit that the black people have less money than white people. Because we
Black
live in a
people,
racist
our phone
society.
number is 800-400-FM97. If you'd like to talk with Norm MacDonald, I'm sure he'd love to take your call
Absolutely.
right now. Michelle, you're on the air.
I just wanted to say that was one of the funniest things I've ever heard. And you need
What, that black
you're
people
not-
are poor? It's
no,
hilarious.
The teacher thing, and
Oh.
you need to probably act like you're not offended by that, because first, you don't have a right to act like you're offended, and that was funny as hell. He is right about black people being poor. You know it. I know it.
Oh
and the
my
black
God,
people know
what
it.
has happened on this show?
Well, he taught us a lot today. I think moms.
Oh, it's a learning show.
Moms
That's
an
it.
easy job.
Where have
Teachers
you
an
guys
easy
been
job.
living for the last 300 years in this
Steve,
country?
you're Paris. You are on the air.
I think that is completely untrue.
Go on.
Not all black people are poorer
Amen,
than
sister.
white.
Well, I didn't say that.
That's what you
No,
just said.
you said
I
black
said
people
black
have
people
less money
have
than
less
white people.
money than white people.
You've
Yeah.
been to West Virginia? Because there's some white people with no money there.
Well,
Exactly.
Well, okay. You're saying one black person has more money than one
Yeah,
white
okay,
person.
like, what
True.
about Eddie Murphy?
Yeah, what about Eddie Murphy?
You're
Yeah.
saying by and
No,
large,
you're right.
if you
You're
break
right.
it down.
You're right. Yeah, of course, black people have less money than white people.
As
not
an average.
true. Not all black people have less money than white people.
Oh
but he's
my
talking
God.
in okay.
Oh my
We all
God.
get what he's saying.
Listen. Guys in a wheelchair. There's a guy in a wheelchair that can go faster than me in a race. But if I said guys in wheelchairs are generally slower than me, come
The
on.
way you said it was so harsh that to
Give
say.
your head a shake. Give your head a shake.
Oh my God! All right, thank you. Hey, it's Danielle from Big Brother, famously black woman.
My 40 acres and a mule. I need my 40 acres and a mule. But you know what? He's right.
Yeah.
Go on, Danielle.
I mean, if you think
School
about
us.
it, there's been cases where the same person will apply for a job, and at times the other race gets the higher pay. I'm just keeping it real, folks.
All right, thank you, Danielle.
Absolutely. I'm saying that having
Try
less
to offend everyone equally.
having less money or having or not having less money is not a product of your nature. It's that you don't have the money because the white people don't give you the money.
It's actually supportive of black people to say that, actually.
707
Of course,
says.
I'm supportive of black people. I'm in a room of
You're saying
racists.
that to have justice,
Oh
we should
my
all
God!
have equal,
The 415. Do you want to keep him for the next segment? At this point, I'm not sure. I'm finding Norm to be somewhat on the offensive side.
You know what, though? I love that he's saying all this stuff and then looks over with a big smile.
I know,
and
big smile. He's like, oh man, they're going to talk about this all day.
Well, I didn't know that everyone. I thought San Francisco was a little more open than.
No, San Francisco actually
They're
isn't.
racist?
No, they're not racist.
Well, so far, by the way, most people have agreed with me.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Norm and his babysitter Steve will still be here,
Ray
offending
Frosty.
people left and right. Stevie Ray from
We're
Steve.
not offending anyone but racists.
How do you figure? To make a sweeping
It's
generalization
not a
that belittles
sweeping
it is.
It's not a sweeping generalization. It's a statistical fact, and it belittles no one. It only states a fact that I hope we can change in this country. If we're going to pretend that black and white people make the same amount of money, then nothing will ever change. Come on, you know that.
Can't we just see it as everybody?
Well, we can see it any way you want it. If you want to
Sarah's
pretend.
looking for some
If you want to live in a fantasy
out,
world,
and you're not going to find
No,
it.
there's not a clean out.
You're digging.
I'm
You're
breaking.
digging deeper
We'll
and deeper.
be back.
Wild, dangerous, and completely unbelievable are just a few of the ways based on a true story. A new memoir from actor, gambler, raconteur, and Saturday Night Live veteran Norm MacDonald has been described. Mr. MacDonald's dry sense of humor established him as one of the most beloved and controversial anchors of Saturday Night Live's Weekend Update, and as his book's title suggests, based on a true story, is much more than a memoir. It's a Hunter S. Thompson-inspired epic of the comedian's life, including classic jokes and long mythologized Hollywood stories, with guest appearances from Chris Farley, Rodney Dangerfield, Sarah Silverman, Adam Sandler, and many others. I'm very pleased it has brought Norm MacDonald to our show today. Hello.
Hi, Larry. How are you?
I'm well. You talk about how the process of writing was not something that you really liked. You found it grueling. So what led you to even try to write a memoir?
Well, what happened was I was in a hotel room in Edmonton, Alberta, and my manager told me to look at my Wikipedia, and I looked at my Wikipedia, and somebody had changed my Wikipedia, and I was dead in my Wikipedia. And I had overdosed on morphine, which is some 19th century kind of drug to take, in the very hotel room that I was reading this. And so I chuckled as you did at first, but then I didn't. Then I got frightened because I knew that one day that would be true, you know. And
what, that you die of morphine, or
no, just that the tenses change. Mm-hmm. Is becomes was, and does becomes did. And so I thought, well, one day in the future, when Norm MacDonald was, that will be what's left. There's a page on Wikipedia. So I said, I want to tell my own side of the story, and not just a series of facts, which I suppose is what a person's life is a series of facts.
Well, based on a true story, when we see that at the beginning of a movie, we know a lot of license has been taken.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think, though, if you base something on... it's not really based on a true story. It's based on facts, but it is true. That's how I would say it.
How would you describe your writing style here? Are you using the truth as a stepping-up point for some rather elaborate storytelling? And how does this kind of writing differ, or is it the same as what you do when you're doing a stand-up?
No, it's much different. I'm not an educated person, so I wish I was, because I would have been able to write the book. But I wrote 4 books. 4 attempts at this book. Not 4 drafts, but 4 entirely different books, until I came upon this one that I think works.
Well, you told the Washington Post.
Maybe doesn't. I don't know.
I can't imagine how anyone likes to write a blanking book. I couldn't hate it more.
Yeah, I hated it. I hated every moment of it.
Through much
I liked writing the end. Those 2 words.
Through much of the book, you drink and do a lot of drugs and gamble. And
yes.
Are those things that you do on
I don't
day-to-day
do them now.
life?
No, sir. I don't do any of them, but I did do them. Yes, I did do them a great deal. I didn't enter show business until late in life, and before that, I was sort of a criminal. I had criminal. Yeah, I was a criminal, I suppose.
You engage in illegal activities?
Yes, sir. I did.
Wow, like what?
I would sell drugs. I would break and enter. Anything to...
Statute of limitations,
anything to survive. You know, I was just trying to survive. I had no money, and I was only 14 or 15 when I left home. So
this is in Canada.
This is in Canada. So you do what you have to do, and it's not immoral, you know. There's nothing immoral about it. But, you know, I remember we would steal electric typewriters. This is how long ago it was. And we would smash the window, and the alarm would go off, and we'd grab electric typewriters. And we used a cab. The cab driver would be involved, and then we would drive to an Indian reservation where the police were not allowed to enter. And that's where we would put all the goods that we had stolen.
Would they go to a fence?
Yes, exactly.
You also mentioned gambling. What does it feel like to lose your net worth, something you say that you've done twice in your life?
Yes, it feels very good.
It feels good to
Yeah.
To lose everything?
Yeah, you go to the coffee shop and you have a coffee and you feel fresh and you feel like, hey, I'm going to start over. I can do it again.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I've always wondered about the appeal of gambling. Because the little bit of gambling I've done, okay, sometimes I made a couple of bucks, sometimes I didn't, but it doesn't really, I don't understand the addictive quality.
I guess what you're addicted to is hope, which is not such a bad thing according to our president. So when the dice are in the air, anything can happen, and then it hits the cruel green felt, and sometimes you bust.
You, along with so many comedians of your generation, Jim Carrey, Mike Myers, Martin Short, Catherine O'Hara, John Candy, Dan Aykroyd, Seth Rogen, Phil Hartman, Eugene Levy, Samantha Bee, are all from Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something about Canada that produces all those funny people?
No, I don't think so. I think it's probably, we have 10% population of North America without Mexico, whatever that's called. So we have 10% population of what the United States has. So I would say it's probably, you mentioned 10 guys, I could probably mention 100 Americans.
Really? Well, but those are some of our favorites. And
they're my favorites. Yeah,
your
Martin
father
Short
was a bit of a raconteur.
Incredible.
Did you think you got some of your comedic influences from him?
Yeah. Well, we lived a rather bleak existence when I was young. We lived on a farm that was sort of obsolete and it was just barren, rocky soil. So. And there was all those old men around, and but they were always happy and funny, even though their existence seemed bleak. That's why I was so attracted to Russian literature, because I saw all the people I knew in those books,
Like, I mean, we're talking about Shmedyadkov or Raskolnikov?
Like just Gogol and
the absurd guys.
The absurd, yes.
My guest is Norm MacDonald, who's written a book called Based on a True Story, a memoir. You spent 5 seasons on the cast of Saturday Night Live in the 1990s.
Yes,
how did you secure a tryout on the show, given the fact that your background was stand-up comedy, not sketch comedy?
Well, I was working on a show called Roseanne with Roseanne Barr, and I talked to the head writer of Saturday Night Live who liked me. He phoned me up and he liked me, and so he gave me the job. And so I went to Roseanne and I quit, and I came to New York. And then they told me, you're meeting with Lawrence tomorrow. And I'm like, what's that for? And they go, well, that's the audition, you have to audition. So I'd already quit my job. I thought I had the job. That was what I was told, that this was just a mere formality to meet Lauren. And then it turns out it's an audition. So I go in and he goes, I'd like to, you have to do 2 impressions. We have to go to the studio, you have to do 2 impressions, 2 characters. Everyone has to do it. And I said, I got to go home because I can't do that.
I don't do impressions.
I don't do impressions, and I don't do characters. And I think he got a kick out of me or something. Lauren was always with me. He always thought I was just a big moron.
Well, he let you do the news. You're best known as the host of Weekend Update, or as you call it, the fake news. Did you do most of the writing for that, or was that something that was collaborated?
But it was collaborative, but... I kind of set the tone, and I tried to make the jokes different than other jokes, and we all tried to experiment. There was 3 of us, and we tried to experiment with comedy and the way that you tell a joke. And my idea was to strip bare all innuendo and all cuteness, and just leave the bare bone of the joke. And if it didn't work, then it wasn't a good joke to begin with. But if it just relied on tricks.
Were there certain stories that were off limits?
Oh, yes. You know, people always ask me, because I do stand-up, you know, is anything off limits? And I hear comics go, nothing's off limits. And I think almost everything's off limits for me.
And you learned, of course, that the O.J. story might have been considered off limits. You were doing this during the time of the O.J. trial, and you got a lot of humor out of that. But
well, yeah.
How and when were you aware that NBC President Don Ohlmeyer was a good friend of O.J.'s?
I found that very strange. Well, listen, I admire that he stood by him. You know, he stood by his friend. But the jokes I did about O.J. were filled with moral outrage and righteous indignation because I didn't like him.
You didn't like him as a person? You knew him?
No, sir, I didn't. I didn't like. I don't like murderers, and I was convinced he was guilty, even though he was, you know, innocent, as it turned out.
Well, he was found not guilty. It's not the same thing.
Listen, I don't think it's
many
fair.
people believe that he was a murderer.
I don't think it's fair that he was given 40 years for stealing his own shirt. You know what I mean? I don't think that was fair. That he was obviously found guilty of the previous crime.
But do you think you were let go, as some do, because of the O.J. jokes?
I don't know.
David Letterman said of you, there may be people as funny as Norm, but I don't know anybody who is funnier. And if we could have, we would have had Norm on every damn week. You had obviously a very special relationship with him, and you performed the final stand-up set on his last year.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was the last. It was the last stand-up set, and everyone was being very cool with Letterman, very ironic, and that's not how I felt about it. You know, as it came to an end, because he was such an important person in my life, and I feel he was a very important person in culture. I think he changed the way everybody thought and spoke. You know, and so he was very important to me, and I just watched it and saw everybody be cool, and I was not cool about it. I was very sad that he was leaving.
You got very emotional. Well,
I did.
You followed Donald Trump on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon last
Yes,
week,
I
one of
did.
the more controversial interviews with Donald Trump.
You know, when I saw it, I didn't think it was controversial. I mean, goodness gracious, it's Jimmy Fallon. He's maybe he blew his chance to be host of Meet the Press, but it's Jimmy Fallon.
Maybe he'll get Matt Lauer's job.
That's right. Oh yeah, it's Jimmy Fallon. What do you expect? I mean, that's why Donald Trump did it. But I will say this: when I was watching it, I was like, "Oh my God, Donald Trump is being very reasonable and measured. This is getting a little frightening. Like maybe he can pivot. I don't know."
You've had your own television series, which lasted 3 seasons. You co-wrote and starred in a feature film. You've done voiceovers, had a short-lived sports show, a podcast, and even played Colonel Sanders in KFC commercials. Yet you remain somewhat a cult personality. How does that sit with you?
Well, all that stuff is that you mentioned is pretty subpar nonsense. All I really do is stand-up comedy. You know, that's what I'm good at, and everything else came from stand-up comedy just as an accident. But I'm very, very good at stand-up comedy, and the rest is just free money.
How much does the act change show by show?
My act?
Yeah, but for example, Lenny Bruce, it was always different. On the other hand, George Carlin wrote out an act, and
Yes,
he would revise it a bit over the course of a year. But
He was very precise, George Carlin. He was word
even
for
the
word.
uhs and the wells were written in.
Yeah, he was amazing. But no, my act's almost always different. I have so much material because I don't do specials. You know, I mean, I'm doing a special in a month. I shouldn't say that, but I don't do as many specials as everybody else. So I would say I have about 10 hours of material, and most people don't. So I just mix it up. You know, sometimes I will talk to the audience, and whatever they say, I will talk about whatever they say because I have a
It's
material.
improv.
I have material on almost. It's not improv, no. I have material on nearly every subject.
Comedy Central's president, Kent Alterman, described your absence from the airwaves as one of the great injustices of the world.
Yeah.
But he could give
If
you
only
a
he
show.
knew somebody.
Well, has there been talk about Comedy Central?
I don't know. I haven't been home since then. I've been on the road. But yeah, I read that. It was funny.
Well, considering what you've said about writing this memoir, can I assume that one of the things you won't be doing in the future is writing more books?
I'll probably write more books, yeah.
You will write more books?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, as much as I hate it, I feel compelled to do it. I can't explain it. But once I started writing a book, I knew that's what I should be doing. And I always thought I should be doing stand-up. And once I started writing a book, I realized I should be writing a book.
But writing funny in a book is different than writing funny for stand-up, because in stand-up, there's the tone of your voice, there's body language.
Yes.
Here, you just have to make people laugh because of the words that you've used.
It's almost impossible. Like if you go to a library, the last place you want to be is the humor section. You know, good Lord, it's awful. And in the history of America, you know, who has there been? You know, Mark Twain,
Will Rogers.
What's the other fellow's name?
Well, there have been
Josh. Can't remember his last name. But this was long ago. But modern, you know, humorists would be like Irma Bombeck and this kind of garbage.
Well, there have been some funny ones too. But
who's that?
Well, we'll talk during the break, because I have to announce that you'll be speaking with Vulture editor David Marquez. Is it Marquez?
Yes.
Tonight at the Union Square Barnes & Noble store at 7 o'clock.
Yes,
the
sir.
book is based on a true story, a memoir. It is published by Spiegel and Grau. And my great thanks to Norm MacDonald for
Thank you,
being our
Lennon.
guest today.
You're a scholar and a gentleman, sir. I appreciate it.
You used to get stage fright, is that true?
Yeah. Bad state. But
How'd you get
panic
over it?
attacks. Xanax. No, I actually I had incredible panic attacks. Now, panic attacks are different than anxiety attacks. Anxiety attacks, you just get very nervous. Panic attacks, impending doom. You actually think you're going to die. So I went one time. I had a panic attack immediately before Update, where I was doing live TV. So you can see it, you know, if you look it up. And I'm just talking real fast, as fast as I can, because I want to get off, you know, and just rushing through the jokes, and, you know, nobody laughs because I don't even let them. And then afterwards, you know, Lauren was like, "What was that?" I was like, I was trying something different. And went to a psychiatrist, and ever since then I've been gulping fistfuls of Xanax before a show.
That helps?
Oh, my God, it's helping right now.
You took a Xanax today?
Huh?
You took a Xanax?
He goes to a psychiatrist. Have you ever gone to a psychiatrist?
Yes.
What do they tell you?
Well, I've never gone for that particular issue.
Affliction?
But every time I've gone, I've been in great duress, just hot anxiety. You know what that is? Just like...
Well, I had panic.
Yeah.
Have you ever had panic?
Yes,
Panic
I've had
attacks?
Well, anxiety attacks. I've had
It's a little
anxiety attacks. Is it different than panic?
Well, panic attacks, you feel an impending death.
No, not impending death. I've been led to believe that anxiety is connected to OCD somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. And
So you have
perhaps,
some SSRI or whatever they're called?
yeah, and they work just fine. But the psychiatrist, I would always go, I would cut in line to get to the psychiatrist, because I would believe that my problems are far worse than anybody else's, with the exception of perhaps Adam. And
they don't like jokes. I went one time, and I was in the Fifth Avenue in just some apartment, you know, somebody's apartment building, and they made me go for gambling. And anyways, a lady was there, and she kept asking me this question. I'm joking. Oh, what about your father? I'm joking.
She's like, enough with the jokes. So then I can't joke anymore. So now I'm just crying and I can't. And then she's like, time's up. I'm like, no. Like, I'll pay anything. Let me say it. She's like, get out. And then you're in the cold New York with hot dog vendors, you know, tears going down your eyes. They don't care about you.
No, and then you head over to the Queensboro Bridge.
Yeah, then you get a little release.
Told me that we should go our separate ways, but now you're back. Live my life without.
I stumped a fucking psychiatrist once. I said to the guy, because I was fucking gambling all the time, shit, right? I had a gambling addiction. I'm over it now, but shit. But he said,
I bet you're not. That's a good one. He almost lost everything.
Oh, shit.
You haven't met Chip. Yes, Chipperson is very funny.
But he said, the psychiatrist, he said, you're using gambling, you're fixating on gambling in order to escape your real thoughts, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I said to him, isn't that why you do everything in life? And literally, I stumped him.
He had no answer.
He was like, ah. And then he recovered and tried to make it. But isn't that why you do everything?
Yes.
So you're not sitting at home
just thinking
about
what was
what's
your,
really going to happen to us?
where it all ends?
Yeah. My first time I ever went to a psychiatrist, when I was a boy, I went to a psychiatrist in Vancouver, British Columbia, and I went 4 times. And I didn't go the 5th time because he committed suicide.
Wow.
So I read in the newspaper, all kinds of problems this guy had. You know, he was in debt and embezzling and all this. And all I kept thinking was I wasted like 4 hours of his last life complaining about how I couldn't find a house.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame yourself for this.
No, I don't.
No, as long as we can have a good laugh about it now. That's all that counts, really, if you look at it.
What are the best things in your life right now?
The best thing is my son. I would like to say to Eugene Levy that there's no reason to be ashamed of your son. My son only this morning punched me in the chest really hard.
How was your summer? What'd you do? Anything good?
It was great. It was a lot of fun. I have a little boy, you know.
How old's your son?
He's 6 years old.
Oh, that's great.
I want to say 6. And he's a lot of fun. I do things with him, you know. We play and stuff.
What do you do? What kind of things?
I took him to Disney World.
Well, there you go.
Down in Florida. You ever go there?
I've never been there, no.
Well, you don't have, you're barren. Not barren, but you have no children.
That's right, I'm barren. I'm infertile.
Only
That's
ladies.
right. I can't possibly have children. What's your son's name, Timmy?
Little Dylan.
Dylan.
Yeah, Dylan. Not
name for Bob Dylan?
Yeah, I named him for Bob Dylan, and I thought, hey, man, nobody's going to be named Dylan. That's a cool name, because when I was a kid, I always read Dylan...
Thomas?
Dylan Thomas, a Child's Christmas in Wales.
Yeah.
And so I said, hey, nobody will have that name. And then everybody has that name, because they had that kid on 90210. This is too long, right?
I'm so glad you're back, Norm. We haven't seen you in quite a while.
I missed you, man.
Yeah, glad to see you. How have you been, and what have you been doing?
Oh, man, nothing compared to you. Congratulations on young Harry.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, he's a good boy, I
nice fella.
understand.
Yeah. You have a son also?
I have a son, yeah, a little older. He's, I want to say... he's 10 or 15.
Yeah.
The point is this. I want to give you a little advice. First of all, they get less cute.
Oh, see, yeah.
And you got to, when they're young, you got to do certain things. For instance, because you love your child more than anything, obviously. And when I was young, and I had my little boy, Dagwood.
Name is Dagwood.
I named him after the literary figure Dagwood Bumstead.
Yeah.
Now, his name is Dylan. Named after Dylan Thomas, because my father read me a Child's Christmas in Wales every Christmas. So, when the kid's young, as Dylan was, I used to play basketball with him, and I would always let him win, because I figured that was the thing to do as a father. Now, he's 16 years old, and he can beat me easily.
Oh.
Now, he thinks that he's always been able to beat me. I told him, I said, no, I used to let you win. He's like, no.
So my advice is beat the hell out of Harry.
While I can.
While you can.
Yeah. Not sure that I can even now. Now, Norm, I remember years ago you told me that you were there for the birth of your son, and I always remember this. And you said that was the most exciting thing you had ever participated in. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yes. And then what happened?
I took crystal meth.
Oh, no, you didn't.
I didn't know what you were getting.
No, that's right. No, and then you said a couple of weeks later you went skydiving.
Oh, was that it?
Yeah, that was what it was. Yeah. And or hang gliding. Yeah, hang gliding. And how was that compared to the birth? It was.
This was a joke I did at one point.
I have to do your act for you now. Is that what it's come to? And you said that was much more exciting than the birth.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's what's.
Pleasure in my son being happy.
Ah.
Hmm. How old is your son?
He's, what, 10, 15?
You liar! He's 6. He's a 6-year-old. You just about you've had sex in the last 10 years.
No, my son's 16 years old. He's 6. No, he's 16 years old.
He's 16.
Yeah.
So is he a confidant? Do you call him and, do you ever share personal, trials and tribulations and triumphs?
I would never do that to a child.
He's 16.
Well, I mean,
as you have said, he can't be a child forever. When are you going to put the hard realities of life on him?
Well, that's an interesting question. That is an interesting question because I actually have love for my son.
Yes.
Like deep,
of course,
deep love.
He's your son,
and so I don't want to damage him with
the way you were damaged.
With the harsh realities.
Damaged? I don't know. I had a great. No, but I don't want to damage him with any viewpoints I may have, because he's not ready yet for reality. I think children aren't ready for reality for a while, but I do tell him that education is pointless and things like that.
What does his mother say?
She thinks that he should go to college and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He should.
And you're
Not
like,
everyone can grow up and be a comedian.
Yeah, I'm saying it's just arbitrary nonsense. I tell him even the classes he takes now, it's just ridiculous. That algebra has no meaning and none
unless
of this
he becomes an engineer.
Well, unless he becomes.
Do you have no hope for this child?
Unless he becomes a math professor. But I mean, you think it's a coincidence that they have 6 subjects out of 10 billion that they teach in school?
And then you pick one of the 10 billion to focus on.
No, you have to.
You need
they don't
basic
teach you
math.
10 billion.
You need basic language. It's lovely when the school has art or music, which none of them do anymore. A little PE to keep us from getting fat. I mean, come on.
Yeah. No, they have
little science, some of the basic science stuff. Sure they do. Of course they do.
No, I tell him if he wants to go to college, he should have a goal, to be.
He can't. He's 16. No kid at 16 has a goal. Their goal is to be a rock star.
Or have sex.
Well,
right. I mean, that's actually the goal.
Does he want to have sex? Or did you tell him, don't bother with that? There's nothing for you in that. It's just repetitive, just over and over, same thing.
Discuss something like that with him. I hold him in too high esteem to discuss it.
We're super short on time. I've already missed my traffic thing. I'm fascinated. I don't know whether to slap you or hug you. Like, seriously, I feel like someone needs to shake you and knock some sense into you. We are going to take a short break.
Or maybe you.
What?
Maybe you.
Knock sense into me? No, I'm doing fine. I'm good over here.
Oh, me too.
No, you're not. I'm telling you. I know from broken people, Norm MacDonald.
You say I don't listen. I tell you I try. And we both got our own problems. But I still.
Is that a seal?
It was sort of, I was being a sarcastic prick.
Okay, I
what I was doing.
I got you.
But, it's hard, with the Web-O-Vision's hard. It's never really going to work perfectly, Yeah. We got a baby seal, we got a ferret, and no audio, but we can comment on it.
We got Steve in the studio using just old-fashioned TV techniques.
Hey. This is somebody calling in.
How are you?
Funny.
I do that on my
baby
Skype.
seal calling in from Canada.
I do
you
that.
like seals?
I do that too.
on my Skype with my friends, I get like little dinosaurs. I'm like, I am going to eat you. My name is Stegosaurus and stuff like that. But this guy's not very good. I don't know. My name is Stegosaurus and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there's a big delay.
Yeah, some sort of delay. Well, let's not take a call for a minute.
Let's just talk, man.
Yeah,
let's just talk.
It's just not fucking
Let's
working.
just 3 guys from Canada that were, where were we 20 years ago? I don't know.
Here, I think.
What? I wasn't here. You were here?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh. Well, I was.
How long have you been in Los Angeles for?
I guess 14 years.
14
years.
years.
I was here for a little bit before I went to New York. But.
Have the hills always been on fire every year as much as they are right now? Can we get a shot of that, by the way? We actually have a shot that we're literally right across the street from the burning hills of Los Angeles. Can we get a shot of that? Yeah.
Your twins were born here. Norm? Your twins.
Yes, your twins. Your twins were born here. Your twins are here right now.
Well, I don't have a camera, so I can't.
Okay. Okay, wait. Well, we'll get a shot of the fire in a minute. Your 2 sons are here tonight. This is a very. This is great. I wasn't sure if they wanted to be on the show or not. Those are your 2 sons are here tonight. This is a real fun. I'm glad you guys finally made it up here too. This is great. Yeah, you guys gotta come up here more often.
Should.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is good. Now, Norm, yeah, are you going to bring your twins up more often?
Oh, here now? Yeah, they can come out if they want.
Yeah.
You mean do a sketch or something?
Well, no, I was just saying in the future.
Sure.
But if they
No,
want
they
to
can
come
do
on
it
right
now. Yeah, sure.
Do they want to come
See
on?
if we get up and give them the links.
You guys don't have to leave, though. You guys
No,
can
we'll be
here. We'll be in the audience.
Okay. They're going to do a sketch?
Get off the camera, and I don't know what this is.
Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live on the internet right now. We're
I should hold the box.
trading seats here. Norm's twins are Dylan and
Dylan.
Dylan, yes.
Yeah. Creative with the naming.
How you doing, Dylan?
Good. How are you?
How are you?
Wait, is that going to work?
I don't know. I don't know what this is.
Okay, there you
There we go. There we go. You're Dylan and
Dylan.
Dylan and Dylan.
Yeah.
You're both named Dylan.
Yeah.
Both named Dylan. Okay, good.
Oh, well, thank you.
Well, this is great.
Yeah.
So, both named Dylan, really?
Yeah.
Very good. Oh, that's good. And you've never been up to the show before?
No.
Yeah.
First time. We got to see Conan and this tonight.
This is a lot of fun.
Double header. Yeah.
And you guys have been to my hometown of Ottawa. You have?
I have. Yeah.
Yeah. It's because we're from Ottawa. You know, your father and I grew up maybe only 10 blocks away from each other in Gloucester.
Gloucester?
He grew up on Jasper, and I grew up on Monson.
Those were your streets?
Yeah, if you look on your Google Earth, Jasper and Monson and Beacon Hill are not too far away from each other.
Did you have a lot of play dates?
No, because we didn't know each other when we were kids. We didn't know each
really?
other when we were kids. But then when I was about 15 years old, I started going down to the Yuck Yucks, and Dad was on coming through Yuck Yucks all the time on stage, and I was a huge fan. And now we're here hanging out. This is a nice little connection here, right? This is, you know?
What?
Yeah. Yeah. Your sons are here. We all grew up in the same neighborhood. I mean, this is,
Where should I go?
you guys come sit. You sit right here in the middle, Dylan. You sit right in the middle, and Norm, you sit down right here. Yeah, just like this.
Why do I have this big giant mic? Okay.
Yeah. And look who we have. We have a caller here.
That's
Over
all
here.
right.
I don't want
We have a caller.
We have Cody on the air as well.
Oh, Cody looks interesting.
Oh,
There's
okay,
a chair for you if you want there too.
Oh, you sit on that.
Really?
That's pretty good.
Where'd Steve go? He doesn't want to. He gave up? Or?
I don't have any kids here.
Cody, do you have a question for Norm and his sons?
Yeah. You know, there's so many naturally funny guys. Sometimes with stand-up, I'll get in a cab, and the guy will go, guy will tell me, you got to be the funniest guy ever, you know? He's just this cab driver, way funnier than me. And he goes, I don't know how you do it. And I'm going, wow, that's good, because you'd be way better than I would. He's like, how do you do it? You stand up on stage. I could never do it. I guess I'll just have to drive this cab for the rest of my life. What do you do again? Stand up there? Nah, that seems impossible. So I go, that's good. Sometimes I'll go, like, I'll be in a cab, and then I'm talking to the guy's the funniest guy I've ever met, you know? He's like, I don't know how you do it, you know? I'm like, what the, you're way the fuck funnier than me. But I'm glad you think it's, it's so
great.
difficult, you know?
Right.
Because if it wasn't, like, you know, I think of all my relatives that were great anecdotalists and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
But there's this feeling that they can't do it, you know?
Right.
And they, of course you can.
This week is Taxi Cab Appreciation Week, so to all you taxi cab drivers out there, I'd appreciate it if you'd take a shower once in a while. How's that go?
We want to talk about your uncle, because every time you come on the show, you have a story about your uncle who lives up in Canada.
Oh, yeah, he's a Frenchman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you always have like a little story about him.
Jean-Luc. Oh, yeah, he's a crazy character, that dude. He originally visited New York City. Hello?
I'm just having a drink. I can listen to you and have a drink. It's not like I went like this. Hold it. Ooh. Ah, liquid. Huh? I'm still here. Let's see if I got this right. You've got an uncle, lives up in Canada, named Jean-Luc.
Jean-Luc.
Occasionally he visits. Once time he visited New York.
So I'm living in New York, you know? And Jean-Luc, I'm excited. Jean-Luc's going to come by, my crazy Frenchman uncle. So he gets in the cab, right?
When he gets to the airport.
Yeah, when he gets to the airport, the cab driver picks him up, and the cab driver says to him, hey, Frenchman, he says, do you like riddles, you know? So my uncle Jean-Luc is like, yes, I love the riddles. That's how he talks. He goes, I like nothing better than a riddle. So the cabbie's like, all right, here's one, right? So he says, here's the riddle. His brothers and sisters, I have none, but this man's father is my father's son. So my uncle goes, I don't know. Right? So the cabbie goes, it's me. It's me.
Oh, yeah, makes sense.
Oh, he thinks about it. Oh, my God, he says, that's a good riddle there. He says, I have to tell my wife, Mary Claire, when I get back to Gaspé. That's where he lives, Gaspé.
Right.
So he's like, take me back to the airport. And the cabbie's like, what? Right? The cabbie's like, I thought you wanted to go visit Norm then. No. I go back to the airport. All right, you know, I have to tell Mary Claire. Seems odd, right?
Right.
Gets back on the plane, flies all the way back home there to Gaspé. And he gets back, right? Runs in the door. Mary Claire, it's vous. You know, where are you, Mary Claire? Come on down here. I have a riddle for you. She goes, oh, Jean-Luc, I love the riddle. She's a woman, high voice.
Michael Jackson was visiting. Yeah, all right.
So, you're going to love this riddle. How was New York? Forget about that. I got the riddle. Brothers and sisters, I have none. But this man's father, he's my father's son. She goes, I don't know. Who is it? Some cab driver back in New York.
You didn't mean to do that, did you?
No, I didn't.
Be honest, you didn't mean to do that.
At all. I just got to the end. That guy, man, I always tell my uncle, you shouldn't curse him. You know?
Oh, man. All right. We're going to pick up the pieces.
Yeah.
Hashtag I'm with Norm.
Comedian Norm MacDonald has had a Tonight Show appearance next after some controversial remarks on the Me Too movement.
He made comments about the Me Too movement and his friend Roseanne and Louis C.K. And here's what he said. He said, I'm happy the Me Too movement has slowed down a bit. It used to be 100 women can't be lying. Then it became 1 woman can't lie. And that became, I believe all women. And then you're like, what? Like that Chris Hardwick guy, I really thought got the blunt end of the stick there. He went on to say his friends, unlike the victims, his friends, the comedians, suffered more than the victims did. That he had to apologize
Not a good
for.
comment.
That was over the line.
He said, I'm happy the Me Too movement has slowed down a little bit. It used to be 100 women can't be lying, and then it became 1 woman can't lie, and that became, I believe, all women. and then you're like, what? So it's almost as if he's sort of saying that we're taking the women at their word without due process. And that's an argument that a lot of people have right now.
Norm MacDonald was supposed to be on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon last night, but the show canceled his appearance after the interview he gave to the Hollywood Reporter that was released yesterday. I think it would have been better for Norm MacDonald to get on camera and talk about this, because I think part of the reason that quote, it is in print. And I think the way he says it, yeah, it does. I get what he is saying. It makes sense that, you know, if you're friends with these people, you can't just completely abandon them. You want to reach out to them. But what he says, it makes it sound like he's saying that what the victims went through isn't as bad as what Louis and Roseanne went through, which is a terrible thing to say. And I don't think that's what he meant, but that's how it comes off in print.
There was a story today that the funniest comedian in America, Norm MacDonald, was booted from The Tonight Show. Because he criticized Me Too. And listen to what he said. He said, it used to be 100 women can't be lying. Then it became one woman can't lie. And then became I believe all women. And then you're like, what? And so they canceled his appearance on The Tonight Show. And he said of the Me Too movement, the model used to be admit wrongdoing, show complete contrition, and then we give you a second chance. Now it's admit wrongdoing and you're finished. And so the only way to survive is to deny, deny, deny. And he's absolutely right. But the thing is, don't apologize for it.
Let's say you disagree with Norm MacDonald here. Let's say you think what he thinks is unreasonable. Why wouldn't you have him on and just ask him about it? The reason is because we live in such a ridiculously censorious society that we have to make sure that people like Norm MacDonald are never heard.
And if the left, the progressive left, silences Norm MacDonald successfully, the entire landscape of comedy changes forever.
Paradise, with your body I don't wanna share. We're making dynamite, explosive love intentions building in the air. Yeah. So baby,
I feel bad that Roseanne got fired. I think that we have to be more forgiving of people. I've spoken to Roseanne many times, and she's always been in tears, and she's paying a mighty penance for whatever transgression you might think she did.